Imagine having someone in your team listening to your live calls 24/7, catching mistakes right as they happen, and proposing fixes to the prompt so that that mistake never happens again. Welcome to the world of enterprise-level observability. Congratulations, you just launched a voice agent into the real world. But when something goes wrong, how are you going to find out about it? And more importantly, how are you going to fix it? Do you have a plan? Because most people don't. There's different levels to this. Let's say your voice agent is having about 10 to 20 conversations each day, and at the end of each conversation, you'll receive a notification with what happened during that call. At a low volume, that's manageable, but you still don't want to waste time. And at the start, this is the responsible thing to do. Have a notification with the details of the call, the recording URL, listen to the call, listen to your voice agent, hear the user's frustration or satisfaction, so you actually get a feel for how your agent is performing in the real world. But this becomes unmanageable at a bit higher volume, even just 50 calls a day. At that point, you're spending hours listening to recordings every single day. So level 2 integrates an AI agent that can actually look at those transcripts and define whether the call was successful or not, and whether it requires immediate attention. Let's say the voice agent attempted to book an appointment. It went back and forth with the user, it tried a few different things, but nothing worked. The call ends, and you will receive a notification only in the situations where that call requires immediate attention. So with a couple extra modules, we're saving ourselves so much time. However, we still have the issue of specificity. So this level 2 helps us pay attention only to the calls that are relevant, those that need attention. They don't give us specificity of what to change, of what went wrong. And yes, you can add more tasks and nuances to this AI agent. But what I have found is that when analyzing and proposing fixes to how to prevent that error in the future, you need clarity on these are the specific errors that have been recurrently happening. And if you're going to have an AI propose fixes, it better be an AI that is fine-tuned and trained on real prompts and not just a suggestion, oh, you should add this here, you should add that there. Because trust me, give a prompt to ChatGPT and ask it to improve it, and with no clear guidelines and clear training, it's just going to make it worse. So for the rest of today's video, I'm going to be focusing on level 3, secure observability. Because at the enterprise level, it would be irresponsible to not have somebody 24/7 listening to and monitoring and fixing calls as they happen. But since that's not really feasible, Cekura is the next best option. So let me show you how to set up secure observability for yourself. My name is Alejo, co-founder and CEO of Amplify Voice, where we help companies build voice agents that are ready for the real world. If you have a solid use case for voice agents and you'd like me to help you out, click the first link below, where you can submit a project or book a one-on-one consultation with me. Now let's set up your observability system with Cekura. Step number 1 is creating an agent in your Cekura account. If you've not done that yet, it's very straightforward, and if you need some help, I'll leave my Cekura quick start video linked so you can check it out. Step number 2, you're going to go to your n8n account, and in the webhook where you're going to be receiving your end of call reports, you're going to get the production URL and put it in your retail agent, in the agent level webhook URL, or server URL, depending on what platform you're using. Step number 3, you're going to open up your Cekura agents, and the one you just created, this is the one for me, 6289 is the number of my agent. And that number, we're going to go plug into the set Cekura settings, 628. Now step 4 is going to be a test call, but before we get there, we need to do a couple of checks. What's happening in this workflow is we're receiving the end of call report, we're checking that this is only the call analyzed, what it actually has our end of call report. We're setting up the Cekura agent number, and then we're reformatting the end of call report we're receiving from retail. And what this is doing is grabbing the information from our webhook, in this case, webhook level 3. So if you ever change the name of that webhook, make sure you change it here as well. And we're processing the transcript. We're checking for any tool calls that were made. And then we're passing all of that information to Cekura for them to process that transcript. Another awesome feature of Cekura is it can actually listen to your phone call, not just read the transcript. So when you pass on the recording URL, it can actually analyze not only what was said, but how it was said, like your voice agent changing pitch. And then we're just sending that JSON straight to Cekura. We have our test API key, we have our JSON, and this is going to make it so a new entry gets created here under observability calls. Now let's jump into step 4, which is doing a test call. I'm just going to save and activate this scenario. Go to retail, test your agent. Hey, I'm just doing a test. Just wanted to know how you're doing.
Thanks for checking in. I'm here and ready to help with anything you need. How can I assist you today?
Awesome. So we're going to end the call, and what we're going to see is under n8n scenario, we go to executions. There's going to be 3 executions that just launched. Here's number 1 for call started, number 2 for call ended, and now call analyzed. That's the one we actually care about. So we received the end of call transcript, call analyzed. It went through and sent that information over to Cekura. Now, if I go to Cekura, what I'll see is, bam, there's a call that happened. It was marked as success. I'm going to click into it, and I'm able to listen to the recording. I'm also able to understand why it was a success based on the metrics that we set up in the quick start video and based on this voice agent's prompt. And here are the 3 awesome things you can do when you have a call already in observability. Number 1, you can improve the prompt. This call actually succeeded. And also, there were no issues found based on the metrics that I set up earlier, which were very rudimentary. But the call was quite short. Could you really call this a success? That's why Cekura also has the add to lab. And what that's going to do, if I go to labs, is I'm going to find my call right here. So when I click into this call, I'll see that a few metrics come up. In this case, this is the metric I'm actually interested in, not early termination. That shows up as true, meaning it succeeded. It didn't terminate early. And if you click on the drop down, in this case, the user is the testing agent. So it's saying that the user ended the call. The user stated they were doing a test, and there were no unresolved issues or frustration, which is true. But for your specific purposes, does this mean that this was an early termination? Are you going to want to catch these situations? In my situation, yes. And Cekura lets me customize the different metrics, give it examples, and it'll be saved. And then as you add more and more calls, you'll be able to use the optimizer tab. But that's a story for another day. So when you annotate what should have been the actual value, it's going to learn from those annotations and be more likely to mark your calls correctly the next time. I want to add a metric. If I go to metrics, user predefined metrics, and I'm going to add something that I know is going to fail. In this case, call ends after agent says goodbye, which never actually happened. Metrics copied. Awesome. Now I'm going to make another test. Okay. I'm going to go back to Cekura, and that call is going to pop up here. The one I just did, the second one. Okay. Awesome. And if I go to Boolean, the call ends after agent says goodbye, which never happened, is going to give me a failure. And then I can repeat the process. I can go add to lab and, hey, actually this shouldn't have been marked as a failure. Yes, it didn't happen, but there was no opportunity for it to happen. So the lab is going to help you make metrics more reliable over time. And you can even change this failure as reviewed success. Because again, I really wouldn't call this a failure of the whole call. And Cekura gives you that flexibility. And the third observability feature I want to show you is the create a simulation. And what you're doing is making a simulation of the real call's transcript. And when you hit confirm, a new evaluator is going to get created. What is an evaluator? We talked about it last time. It's a combination of personality and metrics. And it's going to allow me to run the exact same call with a new prompt. Say, right after I go improve prompt, I select what went wrong and I generate the improved prompt. Let's say I do change my retail prompt for the one that just got suggested to me. So here are all the changes that Cekura proposes. I'll click on generate improved prompt, and then I can run the simulation through this new improved prompt. So you're running a real world call, finding out what went wrong. Cekura is proposing some changes, and then you can simulate that exact same call again. And that's the beauty of the simulation feature. But sometimes you don't want to micro optimize. You don't want to change this one mistake. You want to look at what are the things that are generally going right, what are the things that are generally going wrong. And this is where you can extract insights out of those patterns of, say, 1,500 calls, the latency, the success rate, but it gets way more specific at a pattern level so you can understand what to prioritize. For the different types of metrics that you've set up, how well is each one performing? It'll tell you the worst performing metrics, the different ended reasons, different drop-off points, where you might want to change the design of your conversation to prevent people from dropping off, different issues that have been happening or that just came up, and some aggregations of metrics over time. When we're talking solid enterprise level observability, this is what you need. An AI agent sending you a Slack message is not enough, but if you do want to get notified, Cekura also has a Slack integration. You can go to settings, integrations, and then Slack, Discord, or email notifications. we've set up a dedicated monitoring channel in our Slack workspace, so we receive all the notifications of call failures directly there. So we can save time and focus on the calls that actually matter. But honestly, this is just the start. If you want my help setting yourself up for success on observability, Cekura, or retail agents, click the Work With Me link below where you can book a one-on-one consultation with me or submit a project for me and my team to work on it. So let's recap. At a low volume of calls, and when you just launch a voice agent, you should definitely be listening to every call. You're gonna catch things that no transcript can give you. As volume increases, you wanna have a systematic way where you're only paying attention to the important calls. But for enterprise level use cases, you need a tool that can do the specificity for you. Exactly what went wrong. Is this something that has happened before? And here's what I propose to fix it. The peace of mind that we've had with Cekura is what has allowed us to scale. Because we're not worried about what's gonna go wrong with an agent in the real world. And yes, things are gonna go wrong, but when they do, we know exactly what went wrong and we already have a proposal of what to fix. So we can focus on what really matters right now, which is scale. And so you can focus on what matters to you and not waste time listening to 200 calls a day. If you found this video helpful, subscribe, there's way more coming. And if you want 20% off for the first 3 months of Cekura, you can use the coupon code below, AmplifyCekura20. Your agent success is in your hands, so remember to never stop prompting.